Good morning, my dear students. I welcome you to our next online class. So far, I have completed 2 lessons. One is Chapter 2, Nutrition in Animals, and Chapter 7, Weather, Climate, and Adaptations of Animals to Climate. Since we have completed 2 lessons, I am going to start with revising a second lesson today. Let me start with 2 mark answers. Before learning these question answers or revising these question answers, let me give a short recapitulation of what we have learned in this lesson. Our first topic is we learned about nutrition. What is meant by nutrition? That is, the uptake of nutrients is known as nutrition. Nutrients include carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and roughage. Then we learned the different modes of food habits found in some different kinds of animals. Almost we learned some 7 different kinds of animals, which includes amoeba, that is mode of food habits in amoeba. You all well know now that amoeba moves towards the prey, that is the food, by using pseudopodia and catches the prey and swallows. Amoeba is a unicellular animal, so actually it doesn't have legs or any locomotory organs, special locomotory organs for movement. So it uses its cell membrane to form a false leg-like structure named pseudopodia. This is the special feeding habit found in amoeba. The second is in reptiles like frogs, lizards, toads, etc., where these reptiles have a long sticky tongue which ejects out towards the insect, that is their food or prey. As soon as the tongue touches the food, it sticks onto the tongue and the animal rolls its tongue and swallows the food. This is the type of food habit found in reptiles like frogs, toads, and lizards. Then third, in case of birds have a sharp beak, that is their mouth part called as beak, and sharp claws, that is their legs comprised of claws, which helps to hold the prey or catch the prey or even to peck the wood in case of woodpecker and thereby consume their food. In case of insects, you have different kinds of feeding habits in insects. There are some animals like cockroaches which bite and chew and then consume the food. There are certain insects like mosquitoes and butterflies which have a special structure named proboscis, which is inserted into a plant or an animal, and if it is plant, the plant sap is sucked, or if it is an animal, the blood is sucked, and thereby they consume their food. Then next, in case of hydra have tentacles with nidocytes which helps them to poison or hunt the prey, that is their food. In case of a snail, they have numerous teeth-like structures called radula at the underneath of their head region, by which they consume the leaves. Then, in case of starfish, they have large arms with special structures which helps them to hold the food, especially mussels, that is shelled animals, and open it and consume the soft body part which is inside. And finally, leaf cutting ants. These ants, they cut the leaves into small pieces, take them to their nest, and spits with saliva, apply saliva with the fungus, and they allow the leaves to degrade. Actually, fungus degrades the leaves, and then when it is degraded into simpler molecules, they start to consume. This is the special food habit found in leaf cutting ants. So these are the various different food habits that we have learned in our class. The second topic that we learned in that chapter 2 is process of nutrition, in which we learned 5 important stages called as process of nutrition, which includes ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Food entering into the body, that is swallowing of food, is known as ingestion. As soon as it enters the stomach, it is digested into smaller molecules or smaller components, that is known as digestion. The digested food, the simpler forms, are absorbed by the body through blood. This is known as absorption. Then it is assimilated into into our body, into a skin or into a tissue or into a blood, etc. That is known as assimilation. And finally, the remaining waste or the remaining undigested food or unabsorbed food are sent out in the form of solid form, and that is known as egestion. Again I repeat: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. This we call it as process of nutrition. We also learned in this chapter another important topic, that is nutrition in amoeba. As we discussed before, amoeba moves towards the food or prey by its false leg known as pseudopodia, and slowly consumes the food, swallows the food. So the significance is, amoeba is a unicellular animal made of just one cell, and that animal, the way it consumes, that is the importance of this topic, nutrition in amoeba. So when the food enters into the cell, it forms a vacuole known as food vacuole, and slowly enzymes are produced, digestive enzymes are produced, and digestive enzymes are produced which involve in the digestion of that food. This is the special type of nutrition that takes place in amoeba. Another important topic that we learned in this lesson is nutrition in human beings. So in nutrition in human beings, we learned many important topics which can be categorized into 2, that is, one, alimentary canal or food path, or gastrointestinal tract, and the glands that are present in the digestive tract, or the glands that are involved in digestion. So the glands include 3 pairs of salivary gland in the mouth. Then second is enzymes that are produced by the stomach. Then third, pancreas, which produces pancreatic juice, and liver, which produces bile juice. So these are the glands that are involved in digestion. Again I repeat: salivary gland, then stomach, pancreas, and liver. The alimentary canal or the food pipe, that is the pathway through which the food moves inside our body, that is starting from mouth to anus. This includes mouth, which comprises of teeth, tongue, lips, then oral cavity. As soon as the food is consumed, the food enters into pharynx, which is a common pathway for food, water and air. Then next is esophagus, a long tubular structure. Then stomach, small intestine which comprises of duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Then large intestine which are also known as colon, and finally rectum and anus. So these are the pathways through which food moves into. Again I repeat: mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. Then the final topic is nutrition in ruminants. That is, certain animals like a cow, buffalo, goat, sheep, deer, etc., they are called as ruminants because of certain reasons. That is, these animals, they are herbivorous, that is, they feed only on plants. Second is, these animals, they have four chambered stomach, that is reticulum, rumen, omasum and abomasum. These animals, even though they are herbivorous, that is, which feeds on only plants, but they don't have the ability to digest the cellulose that are found in plants. For this reason, they depend on certain microorganisms known as methanogenic bacteria or cellulose degrading bacteria. Since those bacterium are involved in the digestion or degradation of cellulose, they are known as cellulose degrading bacteria, and in this process the byproduct is methane gas, and so they are also known as methanogenic bacteria. So in that way, these cattle, they consume the food which goes into the first part of the stomach, that is reticulum. Again it brings back to the mouth for chewing again, which is known as cud, and because of this they are known as ruminants. Again after cud, that is after chewing, again they swallow the food which goes to the third and the fourth part of the stomach, where the digestion ends, and at last the digested food or plant parts are absorbed, and thereby they get nutrition. So this is the special type of food habit or nutrition found in these animals named as ruminants, and the process is known as rumination. The animals are known as ruminants and the process is known as rumination. Right, now let's start revising the question answers. As I said before, let me start with the 2 mark answers. My dear students, you start writing these question answers in your classwork. That is your assignment for today. Okay, whatever that is discussed today or next class, you immediately have a notebook and pause the video, and then and there write the question answers, and that is the assignment for today. The first question is, which is the largest part of alimentary canal? And just now I said alimentary canal is none other than the food path, also known as gastrointestinal tract. The largest part of alimentary canal is small intestine, which comprises of duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So this is the first answer. The largest part of alimentary canal is small intestine. The second question is, give 2 examples of ruminants. This also we discussed in the end of this revision. Animals that ruminate are known as ruminants. So they are asking 2 examples of ruminants. I have given buffalo and cow, which is a well known example for almost all the kids. Two examples of ruminants include buffalo and cow. The third question is, list the 5 steps of nutrition. The 5 steps of nutrition is none other than the process of nutrition, which includes ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So these are the 5 steps of nutrition. The fourth question of today is, which mouth part does help in sucking of liquid food in butterflies? Again, this also I revised in the intro. Butterflies, mosquitoes, they have a long small tubular structure like the needle in a syringe, and that structure is actually known as proboscis. So the answer is proboscis. So this is the mouth part using which the liquid food is absorbed or sucked by the butterflies. The liquid food is none other than the nectar that is found in the flowers. The sweet substance called as nectar, which is sucked by butterflies or honeybees. So here butterflies have proboscis through which they suck the food, liquid food. The fifth question is, name 2 animals having sticky tongue. So when I say sticky tongue, what comes into your mind is reptiles, that is lizard and frog. So lizard and frog are the 2 animals that have sticky tongue. Sixth question, which food processing structure is present in hydra? By this time you all know that hydra have tentacles which helps in catching the prey and consuming. So the food processing structure is none other than tentacles that are found in hydra. The 7th question is, in which animal does intracellular digestion takes place? Intracellular. Okay, so digestion is of 2 types. One is intracellular and other is extracellular. Intra means inside, extra means outside. We have discussed this when I was teaching the class. So in case of all animals, human beings, even though the digestion takes place inside the body, the digestion does not take place inside the cell, and hence this kind of nutrition or digestion is known as extracellular digestion, that is outside the cell. But in case of unicellular animals, where the animal is made of single cell, and so the digestion should take place only inside the cell, that is the only possibility, and this kind of digestion that takes place inside the cell are known as intracellular digestion. And so the answer for this question is amoeba. Okay, the question is, in which animal does intracellular digestion take place? So intracellular digestion take place in amoeba. So you should be very careful with the spelling of this amoeba. So that one word is actually the answer. If you are writing wrongly, you will lose the whole 2 marks. So be careful, and you start preparing from now onwards. You don't need to wait till you receive a timetable or till you get the portions for your exam. So start preparing from now onwards. I hope by this time you will be knowing all the 7 answers are very easy. Just a single line, that too a single word is the answer. The remaining sentence you can pick up from the question, and you should be knowing how to frame sentence using the question. So if you write these answers easily, you can get 2 marks for each question answer. So keeping that in mind, you just start learning. When I teach, automatically you learn the answer, and then you can be ready for the exam. Okay. The next 2 mark question is question 8. What are the four types of teeth present in humans? The four types of teeth that are present in humans are incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. Just memorize along with the spelling. Okay, be careful with the spelling especially. Okay, so the four types of teeth present in the mouth of human are incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. The ninth question, which enzyme is secreted by salivary glands? So salivary glands produces enzyme known as amylase. Amylase is the enzyme produced by salivary gland. 10th question, name an organism in which extracellular digestion takes place. So almost all animals, especially multicellular animals, where you come across extracellular digestion. I think just now we discussed in 7th question. In that 7th question they are asking for intracellular digestion. So intracellular digestion answer is amoeba, and for extracellular digestion let us take ourselves, that is human beings. The question is, name an organism in which extracellular digestion takes place. So the answer is human beings. Then 11th question, what is peristaltic movement? Actually I hope you know the movement of the food in the form of small balls named as bolus from the through the esophagus by the contraction and relaxation of the muscles of the food pipe is actually known as peristaltic movement. Okay, now let me read the answer. The peristaltic movement is an automatic, continuous and rhythmic movement of contraction and relaxation of muscles of intestine. This helps to push the food forward. Again I repeat, it is an automatic, continuous and rhythmic movement. So automatically when the food is swallowed, automatically it starts to move towards the stomach, and it is a continuous sort of movement and also a rhythmic. Okay, rhythmic, what kind of rhythmic? Which comprises of a contraction and relaxation of muscles. So by this contraction and relaxation of the muscles, the food is slowly pushed forward. Okay, so this is actually known as peristaltic movement. Once again, peristaltic movement is an automatic, continuous and rhythmic movement. So three words, automatic, continuous and rhythmic movement of contraction and relaxation of muscles. It helps to push the food forward. So this is the answer for peristaltic movement. So it appears like bigger, but actually if you segregate into words, it will be easy. If you understand the concept, it will be easy. Then 12th question, what is bile? How does it help in digestion? You know that bile is a digestive juice or digestive enzyme that is produced by liver. Okay, so about that only they are asking in this question, what is bile? So liver secretes bile, a dark colored liquid which is stored in gallbladder. We have learned this in during our class. Liver produces bile juice, which is shortly given here as bile. Okay, so it is a dark colored liquid, and once the liver produces this bile juice, immediately it is not used. So it is used only when it is taken to the intestine and only when there is food there. Until then the bile is stored in a small structure known as gallbladder. Okay, so which is found in the liver. So let me repeat the sentence. Liver secretes bile, a dark colored liquid which is stored in gallbladder. Bile helps to digest fat. So each and every enzyme is involved in the digestion of a particular nutrient. For example, amylase which you learned in ninth question, the amylase that is produced by salivary gland is involved in the digestion of carbohydrates. Like that here, the bile is involved in the digestion of fat. Okay. Then 13th question, why is digestion of food essential? The digestion of food is essential because digestion converts the complex food materials into simpler forms. As a result, our body absorbs these simpler forms of food and produce energy for different activities. So you all know that we need food, we need nutrient. That food or nutrient should be broken down into simpler molecules, and that is what is known as digestion. Why it is broken down into simpler molecules? Because the complex food molecule, for example rice or wheat or chapati or dosa, so these are the complex form of food molecules. They cannot be absorbed by our small intestine or by our blood. So they should be broken down into smaller molecules, and that is known as digestion. And this is the reason why digestion is essential or important. I read the answer again. Digestion of food is essential because digestion process converts the complex food materials, that is all kinds of food is complex, into simpler forms. Digestion converts the complex food materials into simpler forms, and as a result our body absorbs these simpler forms of food and produce energy for different activities. So which means the second sentence says that the food that is absorbed, the simpler molecules that are absorbed are converted into energy, and this process is actually known as cellular respiration, which you will learn later. The respiration that takes place inside a cell are known as cellular respiration. Okay, where the absorbed food is converted into energy, and for this energy only nutrition takes place. I mean, we are depending on food, or we are consuming food, or digestion takes place, all for only getting energy, and this energy is used for different activities. 14th question, what do you understand by the terms egestion and ingestion? So ingestion is none other than taking the food inside, and egestion is removal or sending out undigested food or solid waste from our body. So this you all know. So let me read the answer. Egestion, it is the process of removal of undigested food and solid waste material from the body. Ingestion, it is the process of taking in of the food inside the body. Okay, so taking food inside is known as ingestion. Removal of the undigested food or solid waste from the body is known as egestion. Then 15th question, what are villi? Where are they located? Villi are small finger-like projections, finger-like structures, minute finger-like projections or structures that are actually found in the intestine, and they are involved. They are the organs that are involved in the absorption of nutrients, which takes place after digestion. Let me read the answer. The inner wall of small intestine has millions of finger-like projections called villi. So inner wall. Okay, so the inner side of the small intestine comprises of millions of finger-like projections called villi. These villi, so villus singular, villi or villi is plural. Okay, these villi increase the surface area so that maximum absorption of digested food takes place. So when you have many finger-like projections, which means the surface area is increased. Imagine a normal tubular structure, which is none other than a small intestine. You just calculate its surface area. If there are many finger-like projections, which means the surface area is increased. and that's what we are learning here. That is, the villi, I mean the finger like projections, they increase the surface area such that more, that is the word that is given an answer is maximum absorption takes place. Maximum absorption of digested food takes place, and this absorbed food reaches the blood. Okay, so this is the answer of 15th question. What are villi? Where are they located? Actually, we have also given the reason of the presence of villi. That is, it increases the surface area and the maximum absorption taking place because of villi. Then finally, what is alimentary canal? This is the last 2-mark question. Alimentary canal is none other than footpath. Okay, I said in the intro of this today's class. Okay, alimentary canal is a long tubular means tube like structure. Okay, so it is a long tubular organ found in animals which is divided into a series of zones. The zones include esophagus, stomach, intestine, rectum. Okay, so these are known as zones. Again I repeat, alimentary canal is a long tubular organ in animals that is divided into a series of zones. Series means one after another. One after another is known as series. Series of zones specialized for a particular function related to digestion. So even specialized, that is, each zone is specialized for a particular function. So that is the meaning of this answer. Again I repeat, alimentary canal is a long tubular organ in animals. So it is not found in plants. Only in animals you have alimentary canal, which is divided into a series of zones. Okay, as I said before, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestine, okay, small intestine, large intestine. So these are, each one is a zone, and each zone is specialized for a particular function which is related to digestion. So it may be not only digestion, which includes absorption, assimilation and digestion. So this is actually known as alimentary canal. It is a long tubular organ in animals divided into series of zones specialized for a particular function related to digestion. Okay students, so let me finish with these simpler 2-mark questions. Maybe in next class let me start with 5-mark answers. Okay, so as I said in the beginning, the assignment is 1. You write all these 16 2-mark questions in your notebook neatly, okay, fully in blue with the margin and date. Don't forget those aspects, margin and date. And second is, as soon as you finish writing, immediately read the answers and recite the answers to your parents or any elders at home. So this is your assignment for today. Okay, surely it will be easy for you to memorize and recite. Okay, if possible, have a old notebook and write these answers as a test, and you correct by your own. Okay, maybe use a red pen and correct by yourself. Okay, your online test is also framed based on these question answers. So keeping this in mind, write all the question answers, read all the answers and recite to your parents or elders, and such that you will be ready to attend the today's online test. Okay, thank you.